The Forgotten Scripts, a silent symphony of Southeast Asian history. Introduction. Echoes in the silence. History is often told through battles and empires, but the true soul of a civilization is often preserved in a more fragile place, in the written word. In Southeast Asia, a vibrant cultural crossroads, there once existed a forest of unique writing systems, each a testament to a golden kingdom. However, many of these scripts could not withstand the passage of time, becoming silent codes. Today, we embark on an archaeological journey to listen to the echoes of these lost legacies, to resurrect the kingdoms that have vanished through their own writing. Chapter 1. The Great Origin, the Brahmi Current from the Mother Continent. The epic story of Southeast Asian writing begins about 2,000 years ago, on merchant ships sailing from India eastward to the lands they called Suvarnabhumi, or the Golden Land. Along with religion and philosophy, they brought an invaluable gift, the art of writing. Nearly every indigenous writing system of Southeast Asia, from Khmer, Thai, and Lao to Javanese, shares a single great ancestor, the Brahmi script of ancient India. More specifically, the seed of knowledge that was most widely sown came from a South Indian branch, the Sanskrit Pallava script. The Pallava dynasty was a great maritime power and a major cultural center. From their ports, the Pallava script, carried by monks and Brahmin scholars, reached the early courts of Southeast Asia. Local elites quickly embraced this script as a tool to build their states and preserve their heritage. They did not merely copy it, they adapted it to fit their own languages and aesthetics, creating countless unique writing systems. Chapter 2. Champa, a proclamation of fire and sand. On the coast of modern-day central Vietnam, the Kingdom of Champa developed a brilliant maritime civilization. To record their legacy, they created the ancient Cham script. The steles found at the My Sun Sanctuary are not just religious texts praising the god Shiva. They are also political proclamations, legal documents, and royal genealogies. Each character carved deep into sandstone is an affirmation of the sovereignty and pride of a seafaring people. The Vakan stele, considered the oldest Sanskrit inscription in Southeast Asia, is a distant ancestor of this script, showing a long tradition of writing. As the Champa kingdom declined, the ancient Cham script also faded, leaving behind the last whispers of a once great kingdom. Chapter 3. Kawi, the poetic language of the volcano kings. On the fertile island of Java in Indonesia, the Pallava script evolved into Kawi, which means the script of poets. This was the writing system used during the golden age of Hindu-Buddhist kingdoms, like the Sailendra and Majapahit, who built the wonders of Borobudur and Prambanan. The Kawi script became the soul of immortal epics written on palm leaves, especially in the courtly poetry genre known as Kakawin. Its greatest masterpiece, the Kakawin Ramayana, is not a mere translation, but a complete reimagining, imbued with Javanese philosophy and soul. The stories carved on the walls of Borobudur are visual interpretations of the philosophies recorded in Kawi. Though later replaced, Kawi did not completely disappear. It evolved into the modern Javanese and Balinese scripts, a living heritage that continues to flow. Chapter 4. The Nom script, an uprising of the Viet soul. In the diverse symphony of Southeast Asian writing systems, the story of Vietnam's Nom script is a unique and dramatic chapter. For 1,000 years under Chinese influence, the Vietnamese elite used classical Chinese, known as Chu Han, as the official script for all administrative and scholarly work. However, classical Chinese was a logographic system created for the Chinese language. It could not fully capture the tones, grammar, and soul of the Vietnamese language. Out of the urgent need for a writing system for their own nation, Vietnamese scholars did something incredibly creative. They created the Nom script. The birth of the Nom script was not just a linguistic invention. It was a spiritual uprising, a declaration of cultural independence. Using the familiar Chinese characters themselves, scholars combined them according to new rules, based on principles suggesting sound and meaning, to create new characters that could accurately record the words of the Vietnamese people. It became the tool through which the Viet soul could be expressed most completely, escaping the reliance on a foreign script. The glorious peak of Nome was when the great poet Nguyen Du used it to write the immortal masterpiece, The Tale of Q, proving that Nome was fully capable of expressing the most profound and complex levels of human emotion. Despite this, the Nome script had an inherent weakness. It was incredibly complex and difficult to learn, requiring its user to be fluent in classical Chinese first. Because it was never fully standardized, in the early 20th century, it could not compete with the simplicity and efficiency of Quoc-Ngu, the writing system based on the Latin alphabet. Although it is no longer in widespread use today, the Nome script remains a precious heritage, a symbol of the creativity and the aspiration for autonomy of the Vietnamese people. Chapter 5: Rebirth and the Undying Legacy. Forgotten for centuries, these ancient writing systems seem to have been silenced forever. But from the ashes of time, a miraculous rebirth began. Thanks to the tireless efforts of linguists and archaeologists like the pioneering scholar George Cadez, the codes on stone and palm leaf were gradually deciphered. Each illuminated character is a door open to the past, allowing us to hear the voices of Cham kings and read the verses of Kawi poets. The legacy of these systems has also not completely vanished. They evolved and continue to live on in the modern scripts used today by the Khmer, Thai, Lao, Burmese, and many other peoples. These familiar letters are the direct descendants, the living proof of the Brahmi seed of knowledge that was planted thousands of years ago. The forgotten scripts of Southeast Asia are not merely dead characters. They are time capsules, the DNA of civilizations, containing the faith, art, and identity of entire peoples. The work of deciphering and understanding them is not just an academic task, but a journey to listen to the echoes of history, to understand that while empires may fall, their cultural soul can find a way to live on forever through the written word.